It's crazy, bro, because like when you think about Memphis, it's always been playa, pimping.
Oh,
And
it's
now
always been a dark
and
side to Memphis.
It's always been, but now we
know it was the pimp player shit. You right,
right. But it was that was what was promoted. But now, like
Yes.
now the artists coming out of there, it's really on some. They really on some drill shit. They just don't call it drill.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Memphis is really, when it comes to just the people that we first became aware of.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like the Project Pats and the 3-6 Mafia were like choir boys, right?
Right.
But Memphis really has some similarities to the city of Detroit because when Memphis first dropped, it was on some player shit, the A-Ball and MJGs and all them. Or they was on some player shit for real, even though it was on some crunk player type shit, right? Right. So in Detroit, people thought that what you heard with the Big Seans and the Eminems, they thought that was Detroit sound. Right. You would have to have went to Detroit yourself or been in close proximity with somebody from Detroit to tell you, no, that ain't necessarily it.
Right.
That's a part of it, but that's not what really motivates and push the city. So Memphis is the same way, man. Memphis, they always been on some gangster shit. It's just the player shit was how they first broke into the industry as a whole. But Memphis always been some violent, ignorant ass niggas.
I gotta ask you this, street nigga shit, right? All right, it's Christmas time, Thanksgiving just passed.
Mm-hmm.
Does a dope boy selling dope and then coming back, giving around turkeys and doing the drives, does that balance it out, or do you feel like that ain't enough?
No, it absolutely. I mean, so now I was on some nigga shit just a second ago. Now you finna ask me to step up top.
Yeah.
You know motherfucking well. You know motherfucking well that giving out no motherfucking turkey, no Cornish hen. A nigga ain't doing shit but giving out a Cornish hen on steroids to a nigga that could never ever substitute the amount of destruction that a motherfucker who's selling the dope in the city. Now if you selling to some white people in the Appalachian Mountains, we don't give a fuck about that. You sell all the dope and crackers you want to. You hear me? Take all the dope you can get, and take their shit to Tennessee, and to the crackers in the hills and mountains, or or Kentucky. Sell dope to them all day. Kill them all. Let them OD all them crackers. That's less crackers we got to worry about. But when it comes to motherfuckers just selling dope in the hood, bro, that's not really Robin Hood shit. Robin Hood is taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Taking from people who have and giving it to the have-nots. Selling dope and then taking your illicit gains from selling dope and giving out a motherfucking turkey. All you got, so let's add this up. Talk to somebody who mama is on dope and on crack and heroin. Like in Texas. Go find somebody who didn't have an opportunity to really experience the love and compassion from their mama because they was hooked to some type of drugs. And you ask them if the dope boy who sold their mama some crack or put some heroin on their mama, on their daddy, ask them, is these same dope boys come back giving out turkeys? Is that equivalent to the destruction that and the impact they're having on their household because when their loved ones was hooked on some dope? That ain't the same thing, bro. I would be cracking a motherfucking joke, and it would be I couldn't even pull that joke off if I was to say that coming back and giving to the hood is equivalent to or is appropriate. Nah, nigga, you playing in niggas' faces when you do that. You hear me?
So do you think people do that out of guilt, or like, why do you think there's so many? Because like I remember we just interviewed a lady named Pedra, and she said that. The dope dealers didn't used to sell dope on Sundays. They used to, out of respect for the church people, they used to give back.
That was the whole different generation. That was the truth. Not just, I don't know where she's from, but even in Detroit, that was prior to the crack epidemic. When the crack hit, all bets was off. So I'm thinking she talked about doing the heroin epidemic and shit like that.
It was like the 60s. Yeah, Chambers, yeah.
Yeah, no, the crack hit, Chambers Brothers, yeah, it was on. 85, 86, when that crack hit, crack really changed the whole mentality of what drug dealing was all about. Because you had motherfuckers operating in a more directly violent and vicious attitude, you mean? Crack changed everything, ain't no rules, you hear me? You know what I'm saying? There used to be rules, because I come from the dope game before crack
What was the
hit.
rules?
The rules were just what you just said that you alluded to. There were parameters to what you did, right? There were restrictions to who you could. You wasn't selling no mixed jabs, no 13, 14-year-old kid. You wasn't just doing that. You know what I mean? You wasn't finna put no mixed jab or put no heroin, put no needle with no motherfucking 13, 14-year-old kid hand. You wasn't gonna do that. You know what I mean? When crack came along, bro, crack was such a powerful tool that where the rules and regulations and the bylaws that govern drug trafficking and drug dealing, because drug trafficking is a different thing. It's a higher level. Drug dealing, when you get the hand-to-hand, the direct to consumer marketing and sale, you just wasn't finna get no motherfucker. Know what I'm saying? No, you wasn't finna do that because you understood the destructive nature of what that drug could do. But when crack hit, when the crack epidemic hit, it also brought on a new breed of drug dealing. You hear me? You had motherfuckers who were less compassionate and they were disconnected from the hood. So motherfuckers didn't give a fuck. They'll sell dope to a female who's pregnant. And I'm not saying that didn't happen with the heroin.
Right.
And the other drugs that preceded, the mescaline and shit like that preceded the crack epidemic. But there were rules and regulations. And then you had OGs really. You ain't have young niggas running around here pushing no heroin dog food like that, bro. The dog food game was really controlled by old niggas who really, there was a prescription to how you did certain shit. You feel what I'm saying? There was rules and regulations because you had older. Crack epidemic allowed younger people to enter into the drug dealing world, and those young people hadn't been developed psychologically, even though we're talking about selling drugs. But there was still some type of psychological, there was still some type of understanding. Crack made it, so you ain't see young niggas selling heroin like that. Heroin was an old nigga sport. You know what I'm saying? You had young runners, but it was controlled by the OGs, you hear me? The crack epidemic, it turned niggas who were 14, 15, 16, 17 into millionaires by any means necessary. And then don't forget, these are young guys who grew up without no parental guidance, without no real OG. That's the beginning of lack of OGs. The lack of OGs and not having the OG really guide you, that didn't start right now with the YNs. That started with motherfuckers in my generation. My generation, the whole OG concept started going out the window. And so we have a whole generation, just like we had a whole generation of kids affected by crack, we have a whole generation of kids or people in the dope game who were affected by the lack of OGs really running shit and really putting down the law about what you could do, what you couldn't do. When that crack hit, you had young motherfuckers who had the opportunity to become millionaires, and they became millionaires based on just being treacherous.
That's crazy, bro. Speaking of that, right? The Mexican cartel members set up Future's brother, right?
They did, the rat bitches.
The U.S. government is wasting money fighting war on drugs. Let the armed robber, aka the takers, lose on the cartels. So break this whole Future's brother. If people don't understand what's going on with Future's brother, what's going on? Explain.
Casino, Future. I don't even know if he's Future's real biological brother, but they refer to each other as brothers. So we know in the hood, a motherfucker got to be your blood brother to be your brother.
Right.
In the hood, your blood brother could be a bitch ass nigga. Your homeboy could be more of a brother than your blood brother. So that's how that go, right? So if they say they brothers, then that's what we gonna roll with. But Casino got caught up in the house with 21 bricks of Fetty Wap, 300,000, and you had a Mexican guy in there who's from Southern California who got knocked out. You know what I'm saying? They all together. So at what point in time do you see the plug, the nigga who buying the dope, the money, and the dope all in one house, right? That ain't no normal shit. That ain't no normal shit. Come on, my nigga. You don't see all that on. You got the drug, you got the plug, the nigga who buying the dope, the money, and the dope in one house. You know that wasn't no normal drug bust. We don't get like that. When have you ever seen that? We got all those different things in one spot. Never, bro. You might catch a nigga with the money trying to go get but it's an automatic play. But they telling us that it wasn't no automatic play. They was just being watched.
Right.
By who? That Mexican motherfucker in there? Now Casino home. We ain't heard nothing about the motherfucker Mexican. Where the Mexican at? Where he at? We ain't heard nothing about him. Who was watching this motherfucker? How did they get up out of there? Now, at first, I was gonna be on Casino ass, cause I ain't never seen a motherfucker get caught on 21 bricks of fentanyl and get out no motherfucking bonds 3 days later. You hear me? It ain't even no proper investigation of this shit. So I was all set. To kind of like, nigga, something ain't right. Nigga, you getting kind of squeaky over there. You hear me? I smell something ain't right over there. Right? But when they say, I'm learning more facts about this shit, and they say there's other factors that go into this shit. But my nigga, nowhere in America do you get caught in no motherfucking house with no motherfucking 21 bricks of nothing. Especially after Donald Trump just moved fentanyl possession up from a level 2 to a level 1. Oof. Right? And then he just classified the Mexican drug cartel as terrorist organizations. So you got terrorist organizations in the same house with $300,000 of cash, in the same house with a motherfucking Mexican cartel member from Southern California. It's a lot going on there, man.